Good morning. Happy to be here with you on the porch. I've been traveling this past week. Shout out to the ladies in Texas that I was with this past weekend. It was amazing. I'm still on a high around speaking with those ladies and speaking to that church. And it was just a joy to be with them. And some of what I actually shared with them is some newer content that I've been working on and finally starting to speak about and put out in the world. And I'm actually going to be sharing a little bit of that with you today, at least the invitation to hear that content and be a part of it. And so we'll get to that in a minute. But before I go too far, I want to tell you if you ever want to connect more, you can find out more about all the things that are happening with me and different things that are going on at thereallifeprocess.com. We spell real life with one L. And if you're looking to be a part of our private community, which is just people that are interested in formational work, and you might be in the helping profession around those things, but really you just hang out, just wanting to go deeper in life and with what God has for you and all of those things, come on over to our private community. Again, you can get there by going to the website and clicking on the community tab up at the top. You can find all those things pretty much anywhere. If you search, do the big Google search, you can find out about all those things. But the easiest way is to go to the reallifeprocess.com. So let's dive in today. And I want to talk about, I know it's early morning if you're listening in on the live that I do here on the Facebook platform. Then we take this content, put it out on our podcast platform as well. So you can catch it in either place. You can catch the Facebook Live replay, you can catch it on the podcast, whatever's easiest for you. You can also catch it on YouTube. So there you go. All the places, all the spaces. But as we dive in today, I want to talk about getting up on the balcony. There's a phrase, that's a phrase, I guess, that I have used for years, and I never get tired of it because, to be honest, I always need it. I always need to keep getting up on the balcony. And here's what I believe: you can't see your own life clearly when you're standing in the middle of it. You're actually too close to it. So there's always things staring at you when you're that close that you know you need to get done, that you need to get accomplished, whether it's work at home or responsibilities pulling you in every direction. And so when you're at ground level, all you can see is the next thing in front of you. And that's not a character flaw. That's we're wired to accomplish things, to get things done, to complete tasks. But that's what happens if we never leave that ground level is we need to get up on the balcony. We need to get away from ground level, even if it's just for a little while. And when I do that, suddenly I can see the whole shape of things. Actually, being in Texas for just a few days, being out on a ranch in Waco, Texas, with a beautiful friend of mine and her husband, and just being able to go sit on their porch and have some quiet time and be away from my everyday makes all the difference. So you can just see the whole shape of things, where you've been. I got to process a lot of where I've been, where I want to go, even in the rest of the summer, what's coming up this fall. And it's not just about where is the momentum taking you. I think it's one of the most necessary and most neglected rhythms in a personal life. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Intentional slowing is such an important part. And we do that by stepping away. I don't think you can see your own life clearly when you're right in the middle of it. You're too close. It's like right here in front of you. And there are always things that are staring at you that need to get done. So 15 years ago, by coincidence, really, I became a part of a community that met together every 3 months. And I started driving to Chicago to these retreats. Didn't love the drive to Chicago part, but when I arrived at the retreat center, it was just beautiful. And it was actually how I started establishing that rhythm of getting away. And it was usually started on a Sunday evening and it went till Tuesday afternoon. So about 48 hours. a little bit longer. So it doesn't matter 24 to 48 hours, but creating a rhythm in my life was vitally important to where I needed to grow in that season. And I've never regretted the time or found it to be anything less than absolutely necessary. It doesn't have to be a big trip like I was talking about, 3.5 hours away. It can be really an intentional short drive somewhere. But for me, it was foundational in my growth personally and professionally. A weekly day of rest does some of that work. So many of you listening in or being a part of this live might practice a day of rest, a Sabbath day. And that does some of this process and it's valuable. But I think there's something about stepping away further. Seasonal reset for looking at the next 90 days or so. That Sabbath day alone, it just doesn't quite reach what I've come to believe. You cannot do this work of resetting and resting from inside your own routine. You have to step out of it and leave it. And there's also a retreat center for me in Southern Indiana. I keep going back to it. It's called The Springs. You can check it out online. And right when you walk in, there's a sign that says, if you turn around and look behind you, a place to return to. And every time I see it, for me, I know it's true. I know that when I leave time, I'll be back again to process more of what's next. So I love returning seasonally to the same place, even for a short time. I walk the trails there, I sit by the lake. I know where to get my coffee in the morning. I have a spot that I like to spend for lunch. There's comfort in that rhythm. We are creatures that love routine and rhythm. But here's the thing, while I'm there, I'm not responsible for all of those little things. They will wait. I'm away from them. And nobody needs anything from me. And that's what opens up the space to actually get up on the balcony and think about it differently, to process the hard things that might have happened over the last few months, to look forward to the new things that are opening up and coming. I just don't think we do it often enough to get a real reset. Time to celebrate, reflect, be grateful, time for reflection, savoring some coffee. I've got mine here with me this morning, and maybe doing it even with a friend. But I've had some of my clearest thoughts about where my life was headed when I'm sitting on a chair, quiet with coffee or a glass of water or my favorite beverage. And I've had some of the same kind of moments, actually, for me, when I'm up north when I'm in North Georgia, not up north, but when I'm in the North Georgia mountains. That's a third place for me. Different place, but same kind of rhythm. And what I want you to hear in that is you can have different places. It might be somewhere near your hometown, might be a place within a couple of hours. It might be a half a day's drive for you. I think we're all creatures of habit, all of us. It's how we're designed. And we gravitate towards two or three places regularly in our lives. It might be your home, obviously, your church, maybe even a favorite place that you like to eat. I know Farmer Dale and I have several places that we like to eat. Some people even call it a third place, somewhere familiar enough where you feel safe, that's different enough from your everyday routine, that it actually gives your mind and your spirit room to listen. When I go to certain places, whether it's a favorite restaurant where I don't even have to look at the menu, I feel safe there. I feel seen. Many times it's the same person waiting on us. Or when I go to the Springs in Southern Indiana, I know where to park. I know how to get in. I know where the coffee is. I'm safe. It's familiar. There's just something about that allows our brain to step out of having to learn the new routine and just be with ourselves. It doesn't have to be a new destination every time, but that place becomes a part of your life process. And I'm telling you all of this actually because I didn't learn it from a book. I learned it from 15 years of practicing it. Those first trips to Chicago back in 2011, 2012 seems like yesterday, but it's actually been quite a while. Started me falling into the practice of coming away, having a rhythm of a bigger time of rest and reset. And I'm excited to share with you something. I told you at the beginning that I had something to share with you because finally I feel like God has opened a place and space in my life that Dale and I are excited, Farmer Dale and I are excited to begin to create those spaces for you here on the farm. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the farm in the background behind me. Actually, the sun is streaming right into the picture, but I'm not going to fix it because it's actually beautiful. So it's finally time for us to open up the farm to others to experience the beauty and the simplicity. I've been offering retreats like this to our certified coaches that work with the real life process content and all the things we offer. I've been doing it for over 6 years. And I've seen what happens when people get away. And the farm is a perfect place to do that, to deep breathe in and take all in that God has in the nature and the beauty. I've had people stand at our white fence right over here and say, wow, the stars here are absolutely beautiful because I've only seen the stars through streetlights. To sit on the porch and actually listen to the birds that are beautiful this morning because it's a nice, cool morning here on the farm. To walk through the grounds, experience the farm, sometimes even in full operation, harvest or planting season. It's just a beautiful experience. I get to live on it. Our family gets to live on it every day. And we really feel like it's time to begin to share that with others in very small groups and small settings. So, our farm is located in South Central Illinois, and maybe it could be a place for you to return to again and again. We have people that have already established that rhythm, but we want to open it up more for a one time balcony view. So, we're excited. We're opening these doors for the first time to a small group of people this fall here in 2026 to step off your ground floor and for a couple of days, come and join us here on the farm. Now, let me tell you what this is not. This is not a conference. This is not a checklist. This is actually a chance to get away from the everyday and think honestly about your own life. Now, I'll personally be guiding you through some things in a big picture way through what we call the real life process, creating that modern day rule of life. You'll be having plenty of time to think, gather around a table with some great home cooked meals, and really begin to process where do I want to go in the next 3 months, 6 months, or a year? Maybe you're in a season of transition and it would be great to have some time away. Doesn't matter how you're coming, where you're at, where you live. We'll figure out all those details and you can get to those details on a page that we've created for you. There's plenty of places to stay right here around the farm. But if you're headed into a new season and you want to reconnect with your own life and you haven't taken time to get above it and look clearly, then we would love to invite you and nudge you to reset and do life with you as God might be discerning for you. It's not a guilt trip that you're doing it wrong. That's just what I become to believe that getting up on the balcony is vital in where we live at in this world today. So here's how it works. Our first retreat will be September 17th through 19th here, 2026. If you're listening to this later and it's past those dates, just go to the website and you can see the new dates that we might have. We plan to have these a couple of times a year. You'll arrive on a Thursday around 5 p.m. We'll gather for dinner that evening and then get you a good night's rest. And then you'll come join us here on the farm on Friday evening and back again on Saturday before you head home. So about 48 hours, but you will be shocked at what 48 hours can do to reset, especially when you get out of the everyday, ordinary routine of your life. Now, I am limiting this to only 6 seats, and we already have some people on a wait list. So I'm not sure at what time it will close. I would say take a look, do some discernment, and make a decision sooner than later. So 6 seats, that's it. And I promise that each person will have their own unique experience as I guide you through the process. As I speak with you one on one, you'll get some time together with me one on one and also time alone to just sit with a great cup of coffee, a glass of iced tea or lemonade, and be here on the farm. Maybe if you're watching the video, maybe that beautiful little porch swing will be your space. So registration is open. This may be just what you need for this season. You might want to come with a friend. We actually have a special that if you come with a friend, and maybe that's important to you to travel with someone or bring your spouse, come together, that's an option too. And you can see that on the link that we'll have. So I'll put the link in the comments below here on the Facebook Live. They'll be in the YouTube notes, they'll be in the podcast notes. But let me just say it here. It is thereallifeprocess.com/farm. Easy enough. Thereallifeprocess.com/farm. We'll get you a link to come join us here on the farm. So, friends, I am so excited for you to consider getting up on the balcony, getting up on the balcony of your life and just taking a breath and a pause. And we'd love to do that with you here on the farm in Southern Illinois. So just remember, every ordinary day has an extraordinary moment. You just have to look for them. I'll be back in a couple weeks with another live, another podcast, another YouTube. If you have any questions at all, you can always email me directly, Teresa at thereallifeprocess.com, and I'll be glad to answer those for you. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Coffee, Jesus, grace, and repeat, friends.